Welcome to Dark Files. Today we unravel the heartbreaking and deeply unsettling story of Seya Sadewmi, a case that not only devastated a family but also exposed the flaws in Sri Lanka's criminal justice system. This tragedy remains engraved in the nation's memory. It was a calm night in early September 2015 in the quiet village of Kottadenyawa, Sri Lanka. The air was still, disturbed only by the occasional rustle of leaves and distant chirping of crickets. The small, close knit community was known for its peaceful way of life until darkness fell that night and an unthinkable nightmare began. Seya's father, a respected tutor who had taught English and also operated a transport service, had come home late that night, assuming his daughter was safely asleep beside her grandmother. Seya had two siblings, and the family's life had been simple and content until this traumatic night. The Jailath family had retired for the night, drifting into the comfort of sleep. Seya Sadewmi, just 4 years old, was peacefully sleeping beside her mother. Seya's father had returned home after midnight. He assumed his daughter was safely asleep beside her grandmother, as was often the case. Without any immediate concern, they went to bed, unaware of the nightmare that was about to unfold. The next morning, Seya's mother woke with a start. An uneasy chill gripped her. As she reached for Seya, her heart sank with dread. The family searched their home, their frantic calls growing louder. That's when they noticed that the grill attached to the window had been removed. Terror seized them as they realized Seya was gone, vanished from her bed. The family's desperate cries echoed through the village, attracting neighbors who joined the frantic search. The search quickly turned frantic, but Seya was nowhere to be found. In sheer desperation, the family informed the Kottadenyawa police station of her disappearance. The police arrived, bringing search dogs to comb through the village. Tensions mounted as suspicion fell upon Seya's own father and grandfather. Villagers, fueled by fear and anger, accused them of foul play, demanding swift justice. Pressure from the villagers was immense, and the atmosphere was thick with unrest. On the morning, the investigation deepened. The police scrutiny intensified. The family remained under suspicion, but 2 days later, the villagers' worst fears were realized. They found her lifeless body hidden in a secluded thicket, confirming the family's worst fears. The brutal reality of the crime shook the entire village and sent shockwaves across the nation. She had been brutally assaulted, her neck strangled using the very clothes she wore. The brutality of the crime shocked the entire country, exploding a demand for justice. A cold wave of shock swept through Kottadenyawa as grief transformed into anger. Who could commit such a heinous crime? The village demanded answers. Under mounting pressure, the police arrested 2 young men, Saman Jailath, 17, and Sandeep Sampath, 33. The suspects were paraded before the media, branded as monsters. However, DNA evidence soon revealed a different truth. Their DNA did not match. The wrongful arrest only intensified public outrage. The Criminal Investigation Department stepped in, determined to uncover the truth. During this period, Dhananjay Jailath was arrested, and this time DNA results matched. Dhananjay Jailath, an outsider with mental health challenges, had a history of engaging in inappropriate behavior, including secretly watching women. This disturbing tendency was part of his troubling background, which led to his tragic actions that night, had sinisterly intruded into Seya's home that night. The revelation sent shockwaves through the village. The wrongfully accused were released, but their lives were permanently damaged. Their families struggled to rebuild their lives, facing social stigma and judgment. The wrongful accusations cast a long shadow over their futures, and their reputations were tainted beyond repair. The truth, however, was far darker. As Seya was abducted by Dhananjay Jailath through the broken window, she awoke, frightened and confused. In a trembling voice, she asked to go home. The intruder, a man cloaked in shadows, whispered that they were going home. But his sinister intentions became clear as he led her deep into the forest, away from safety. The trial was held at the Negombo High Courts, where Saman Jailat stood accused without proper legal representation. The legal proceedings were swift, and he was sentenced to death. But questions about fairness and justice lingered. Outrage boiled over. The people demanded justice, not just for Seya but for those falsely accused. The tragedy exposed deep flaws in Sri Lanka's justice system and ignited calls for reform. Throughout the investigation, Sri Lankan media exaggerated the case, prematurely labeling suspects and damaging the reputations of the falsely accused. The police faced harsh criticism for mishandling the case, making wrongful arrests, and yielding to public pressure instead of following due process. These missteps intensified public anger and eroded trust in the justice system. But for Seya's family, justice could never replace what was lost. The memory of their beloved daughter would forever haunt them, a reminder of a peaceful village forever changed. Her story, a cry for justice in a world that failed her. And so, the tale of Seya Sadewmi lives on, not just as a tragedy but as a demand for justice, accountability, and a vow to protect the innocent. A reminder that evil can lurk close to home and justice must be vigilant. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking case on Dark Files. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and always remember, justice is a journey we must never stop fighting for. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more chilling stories. Until next time, stay in the light.